Alright, you guys. So, I've been going through a couple of my toys and my friends' toys and just overviewing the builds, because I don't know if anybody does stuff like this or is interested. I'm sure you are. But, yeah. So, I figured I'd document it, tell you what's going on. So, this is just an old farm quad. I mean, lots of history. My parents bought it for me very, very long ago from a guy who used to work at Pawpaw Cycle. So, made in the USA, 95 trx200 Type 2. I have two of these. One's in mint condition. This one's just been welded on and, all the cool stuff to it. The other one's all stock and got original plastic and doesn't leak oil everywhere, but I have to say, anything Honda is going to last a lifetime. But, starting to leak around there a little bit. Starting to see slow signs of age and wear. Some funny stories. See a little bit more oil around there, especially there. I do have a small oil leak. I didn't replace the little seal around here when I redid the side casing. I neglected to put the case saver back on when I was real young. Definitely a mistake because the chain fell off, wadded up one time, broke the case, oil leaked out everywhere. So don't do that, you know what I mean? Just don't do that. Always put those stinking case savers on. You'll find out why they make them. Welded these on. They're kind of like a passenger foot peg. You can have your foot there, get your passenger's foot out of the way. Hopefully your passenger will do what you say, Jeff Tenier. Also, if you flip the rims on these guys, they have drum brakes, so you won't have a problem clearing the valve stems on the inside. So you can basically take any drum brake front four-wheeler tires, flip them, make them super deep dish. You will get muddy, but hell, look at this thing. You ever seen a farm quad sit like this? There's a little more to it than just the stance, though. So, I do have aluminum rims on it. They're the same exact dimensions as the steel ones. I still have the stock steel ones. These had some new tires. They're like 300EX rims or something someone had laying around. Flat tires, Changshin or Goodyear are like the only tire options. I do have like one other tire brand on my new one, but hard as hell to find those dimension tires, so you usually have to get really fat ones or get yourself some different rims for the rear. That's definitely in the near future for me. I did put some Renthal dirt bike bars on this one, and it was because the old ones were a little taller. These are super freaking wide, so it's like, uncut dirt bike handlebars, super wide, low bend. We did it to get under this tunnel when we were kids, so we did it for height issues. But yeah, people have rolled this thing numerous times. I don't usually have to roll them to have fun on them, but everyone and their mother has crashed this thing for me. It's kind of like, community four-wheeler at this point. Hit tons of trees with it, classic wear. That doesn't even look too bad under there. That's how you can always tell if quad's been beat or not, by the A-arms, how many fields it's been through. Those are clean up there, haven't been trashed, but if you're looking for a stock one, You gotta check the wear marks on the frames. Completely everything bushing wise is blown out. I can't replace it because when we were kids we had a lot of fun with this thing, and this is the original shock location. We mounted it 1 inch wider, 1 inch lower, and this weld happened when we were like literally 13 years old. So that was Matt Balkema. It's a good weld. I mean, it held for 20 years or something. So the story behind the suspension setup, I was just admiring how level and beautiful this was setting. So that's why I started this video, honestly. This is 300EX suspension on a farm quad, and I mean, obviously the geometry is not correct. I would like to do a mount that was a little taller and outwards, so the geometry was a little more like the stock angles, but it works really well right now because the 300EX suspension is really long, so you basically can't fit it there. You would have to do a strut tower mount thing or of the same sort that we did down here, but this is working for me right now, and you can just launch this. Like, I'm not joking. Oh no. Okay. Also has a large front sprocket on it, so 1 or 2 teeth. I think, yeah, it's just 1 tooth bigger on the front. This is the key to bringing one of these things to life, okay? That's what you gotta do on those. Super important is the gearing, They all have enough power. Anything has enough power to freaking turn this stuff. You don't need, freaking be wheeling in 3rd gear. But you got to put a dirt bike chain on these things. Same dimensions. The stock tension is like, the strength of it is honestly like 2,000 pounds or something. These are like 7. Even though this is a Chinese one, you can get, and it is an O-ring chain, you can get, Japanese made or Japanese brand chains that are definitely a lot higher quality, but I've had good luck with this one. Again, 300EX suspension. It's upside down right now. I can't remember why the hell I did that, but I'm gonna eventually change it. Yeah, this is the icing on the cake, the 300EX suspension. Almost all old Honda quads have like the same dimensions for fitting top and bottom diameter, and well, actually I did have to put some different diameter bolts. Ooh, that got bent. So this is kind of like a dirt bike style lowering bracket. So all the quad shocks mount like on top of the swing arm. This actually goes through the swing arm, so we had to make a little bit of room for clearance for the air box. And then that drop bracket is really awesome. So the quick fixer guy on YouTube, I started following him, and I built a trx200d, Z50s, all kinds of shit. But this is I kind of got most of my ideas from him for this as well. A lot of it we did when we were younger, but this is more recent, so this is pretty cool. It's just a bolt-on, and then we welded on the front of this guy a little bit, but it's just a simple little bracket that bolts onto there. You can also make a hitch that goes out the back of these. Really simple. The only thing I had to do to fit the 300EX suspension on the back was the same things you have to do to the trx200 suspension in order to fit a trx250 suspension, which I'll go through that as well. It's gonna be awesome. Is you have to lengthen these guys out. So I just put some like nuts and washers and old bolts or something I had. Or old, nuts, spacers or something weird that I had. I think I like yeah, that was it. Other than that, man, farm quad with long travel suspension and it's geared up. I mean, I probably took the stock speed from like 40 something, 42, maybe to about 50, 51. So I did go a couple different teeth in the rear. I can't remember what the hell I did now. I can't remember if this is the bigger or smaller. I have like 4 of these back sprockets. I tried every, tooth gearing that you can imagine. Problem that you do have with this type of quad is, the way it tensions up, everything's just gonna rattle loose in time. It's gonna be, the more wear and tear and speed and beating it you get out of it, it's definitely gonna, rattle some shit loose. But I did break my back on this 4-wheeler. My friend broke my back. He hit me with a Jeep in my backyard, somewhere over there, like a couple hundred yards that way. He didn't run me over. The impact didn't even affect me. He hit me, and that's all it did to the 4-wheeler. Me and the 4-wheeler went whew, flying in the air, did a whole 360, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna die today. And then I let go, and my body was like, whoa. And then there's this tree, and my body went like this. And wrapped around a tree, and then the 4-wheeler came and went BAM! And smashed me up against the tree. And I was like, call the ambulance! Somebody call the ambulance! And everybody was like, no, we don't need to call the ambulance. There's no blood. They said, there's no blood. Pick him up. Pick him up. There's no blood. That's what my hillbilly cousin said. Threw me in the Jeep, laid me in my bed. I woke up in the middle of the night and was like, my Lord, I can't get out of bed. And then I started sweating. I don't usually sweat that much. Stink right now, but I don't usually sweat that much. I was sweating buckets. And that's when I went into shock, went into the emergency room. They said, sir, you got 4 broken bones. Luckily, it was under my, spinal cord. So they said, if you have to break your back, you broke it in a good spot. And I was like, well, thank you. But yeah, I wasn't really mad at my friend. It was a mutual thing. We crossed paths. I thought I was going faster. He thought he was going slower. I ended up in front of him, and he ended up hitting me. And that's all that happened. A Jeep hit me, and that's all that happened. A couple broken bones, and we still drive it. I mean, it's kitty wampus. It's kitty wampus. But it's a Honda, man. I can wheelie stand this thing all day. If you don't believe me, you can probably tell. Oh yeah, here we go. She's used to just wheelie standing on the road. Oh yeah, that's that angle. We just lay her down on the wheelie bar. Just go as long as you want. What I got in here? I got some shit for survival. My other one's got a way cooler thing in it. It's got like a ice pick, some SPF, that sport in case you need it. Back when I used to be able to drink before the cops took my license. It's a temporary thing, you guys. They're gonna give it back to me. I feel as though they're nice people. Let's get out of here, Sky. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to do something? I'm gonna go get some squirrels. Sky, you got some squirrels? Let me know if you have any questions. I got all kinds of parts. I got all kinds of toys. I'll show you. Thank you.